Impart, ignite a spark.
Inspiring stories of triumph. Resiliences as a path to growth. Hello, Famifrens. We often view sacrifice as a loss, but in the economy of growth and in the kingdom, sacrifice is actually a seed. When we have the resilience to sacrifice our comfort, our old habits, or our fear, we aren't just giving things up. We are sowing into our future. And where there is faithful sowing, God provides the increase. Resilience is the grit to stay in the field until the harvest comes. Alignment. When we align our hard work and resilience with God's principles, we position ourselves to receive the increase He already wants to give us. The scriptural anchor this leans on 1 Corinthians 3 verse 6. I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. It shows a partnership. You do the work, the resilient sacrifice, and He provides the result, the triumph increase. The true story of the 10,000 failures. The figure, Thomas Edison. Most people see the light bulb, they don't see the mountain of discarded filaments. When an assistant once lamented that they had failed thousands of times to find a working material, Edison famously replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." The lesson: resilience is a reframe. It's the energy to see a setback as data. The sacrifice of time and the ego's desire for a quick win eventually led to the literal illumination of the world. The narrative: the executive's pivot. The story: after 15 years in a comfortable, predictable corporate role, Sarah felt a tug toward a completely different path, launching a high-stakes tech startup. To do it, she had to sacrifice her expert status, move into a smaller apartment, and work 18-hour days. There were months when the triumph felt miles away and her old life felt like a warm blanket. 2 years later, standing in her own office, she realized the resilience wasn't just in the long hours. It was in the emotional strength to be a beginner again. The lesson: growth requires the courage to lose sight of the shore. The effort of starting over is the price of admission for a life that actually fits who you've become. The true story of the unprintable author. The figure: J.K. Rowling. Before the world knew a single wizard, the manuscript for Harry Potter was rejected by 12 different publishing houses. At the time, Rowling was a single mother living on state benefits. It would have been logical to stop, to focus only on the immediate struggle, and to put the dream aside for a practical job. She didn't. She kept sending the manuscript until one small publisher gave it a chance. The lesson: resilience is the stubborn belief that your voice matters even when the world is silent. The sacrifice was her limited time and energy, but the triumph changed the landscape of literature forever. The true story of the widow's persistence. The narrative in the parables: Jesus tells the story of a widow who kept coming to an unjust judge seeking justice. She had no status and no power, but she had persistence. Eventually, the judge gave in simply because she would not stop asking. The resilience insight. Praying always and not becoming faint-hearted. Luke 18 verse 1. Application: this shows that resilience is a form of boldness. It is the spiritual high energy that refuses to take no for an answer when you are pursuing a righteous change in your life. Joseph. Let's take a look at the story of Joseph. Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers and later moved from a position of trust to a dark prison cell after being falsely accused. Rising above. Instead of just enduring, Joseph used the prison as the training ground. He refined his gift of interpretation and leadership in the most difficult circumstances. His resilience was the catalyst because it kept him ready for the one moment that would change everything: Pharaoh's dream. The transformation. Because he stayed resilient, he didn't just get his freedom back, he was promoted to the second in command of Egypt. His rising above resulted in economic change. He designed a 7-year grain storage system that saved the known world from starvation. Family change. He was able to provide for and reconcile with the very brothers who hurt him. Legacy change, he moved his entire lineage to a place of safety and abundance. The takeaway: resilience wasn't just his shield, it was his engine. It moved him from a victim of circumstances to a leader of a movement. Conclusion: resilience isn't just about bouncing back, it's about bouncing forward. It's the grit to sow seeds of sacrifice, the courage to lose sight of the shore, and the stubborn belief that your voice matters. As you align your hard work with purpose, you'll find that setbacks become stepping stones, and triumphs become the harvest of your growth. Stay resilient. Love always. Tarizibs.
Impart, ignite a spark.